How deep does one cellar need to be, eh?
Deep as he pays for, lad. Keep digging.
What the devil? Once! Right! That ain't stone.
These two men discovered something that was never supposed to be discovered. The corpses of two children. Somewhere outside of time, there's an alley. At the end of the alley is my office.
Yo, Bones. Yo, Bones. Sup?
The detectives of history. Dern handles alien abductions, mostly his own. Jimmy proofreads ransom notes. And me, I get the cold ones. The cabinet only lights up when a case is really cold. One new file. 2 victims. No witnesses left alive. My favorite kind. They can't lie to me. Case number 4. 500 years cold.
Here we go.
England, 1483. The travel agency owes me a refund. Ow, that hurt. This guy right here is the prince's creepy uncle. He will show up soon. Remember his face. Quick backstory, and I do mean quick, because England spent 30 years on this part. 2 branches of the same royal family, the Lancasters and the Yorks, literal cousins, decided to fight over one very fancy golden chair. They called it the Wars of the Roses, red rose versus white, because 3 decades of cousins punching each other didn't fit on the banner. Battles, betrayals, kings crowned, uncrowned, recrowned. At one point, the throne changed hands so often it should have had a revolving door. 30 years, tens of thousands dead, over a chair. Humanity's finest hour. By 1483, the White Rose team, the Yorks, had won. Keep that name. It's about to matter. 30 years of family violence. And somehow, the worst thing this family ever did hadn't even happened yet. Their king, Edward IV, 6'4", the tallest king England has ever had, then or since. Undefeated in battle, great hair, and a man with exactly one weakness, which was everything fun. Quick rap sheet. Took the throne at 18, never lost a battle he personally fought, then scandalized the entire government by secretly marrying Elizabeth Woodville, a widowed commoner, for love. The council nearly fainted. And the parties. Oh, the parties. Contemporary writers politely called him given to pleasure. Translation, the man treated every night like the last night of a music festival. April 1483, age 40, the bill arrived. Nobody knows exactly what killed him. Stroke, typhoid, pneumonia have all been
Cause of
proposed.
death. Too much of everything. All at once. Be strong. Trust your uncle.
Remember those words. They're about to become the most expensive advice in English history.
The king. Dead?
On his deathbed, he leaves the throne to his son Edward. One small issue.
I'm 12.
He was 12. Dad's will names a protector. His little brother. His most loyal general. a man whose actual motto was, "Loyalty binds me." Uncle Richard. Told you that face was coming back. 12 years of loyal service, 0 betrayals, ran the entire north of England. On paper, the perfect uncle.
I'll take very good care of him.
Remember the smirk. It never leaves. Count how many times you see it.
So the kid sets off for London with his escort, including his other uncle, Rivers, from Mom's side. 12 years old, riding to his own coronation. Nothing can go wrong.
Good morning. You're all under arrest.
At Stony Stratford, the royal road trip meets Uncle Richard, delivering history's most heavily armed good morning. Uncle Rivers and the escort arrested, later executed. The kid escorted by his loving uncle to the Tower of London. And hey, fair is fair. The Tower genuinely was a royal residence. Kings really stayed there before coronations. It was tradition. It was also a maximum security prison. It was both things. That's called foreshadowing.
Safekeeping.
There's a word you're going to want to keep count of. Meanwhile, the boy's mother takes one look at all this and nopes into Westminster Abbey with her younger son, 9-year-old Richard. Yes, also named Richard. Medieval England had 4 names total: sanctuary, holy ground, legally untouchable. So Uncle Richard sends an archbishop.
He stays with me.
Madam, he'll be safer with his uncle for safekeeping.
She hands him over. Now it's 2 boys, 1 tower. And in June, things get medieval. At a council meeting, Uncle Richard accuses his brother's best friend, Lord Hastings, of treason.
Huh? Treason.
Dragged into the courtyard and beheaded, reportedly over a log, before lunch. That day was Friday the 13th of June. I am not making that up. Days later, a sermon conveniently declares Dad's marriage invalid, which makes the boys illegitimate, which means the crown should legally pass to... Anyone want to guess? No!
Safekeeping.
King Richard III, everybody, the protector, promoted himself. All summer, people spot the boys playing in the Tower Garden. Then only behind windows. Then less. Then nowhere at all.
The young king, like a victim prepared for sacrifice, made daily confession because he believed that death was facing him.
That's the royal doctor, the last witness. By autumn, no funeral, no bodies, no announcement. Just a very quiet tower and a very busy uncle. 2 missing princes. 1 locked tower. 3 men with crowns on their heads and answers they never gave. Let's meet them. Where art thou, nephews? They vanished on your watch. It is said they were last seen being escorted to the tower by you.
I think to Richard Thursday it's nigh. I not under Ming hit my what. Overly want them to be safe. And then they ended up being kidnapped.
20 years later, a knight named James Tyrrell, Richard's man, who had the run of the tower that exact summer, allegedly confessed the boys were smothered in their beds and buried, quote, at the stair foot, meatly deep. Where did those two gentlemen find a box in 1674? At the foot of a staircase, meatly deep. Now the case against. That confession? No document, no trial record, written down years after Tyrrell's head left his body, by historians working for the family that took Richard's throne, the same team that let Shakespeare turn him into a Saturday morning cartoon villain. And the man has a fan club, a real one, to this day, defending his honor like he owes them money. Keep score with me. All 3 boxes. And I still can't prove it.
Woo! Best king ever! I helped!
Richard's hype man, and a real suspect, royal blood of his own, keys and access to the tower that summer, and ambition you could see from space. 3 months after the boys vanish, this man rebels against his best friend, and it goes catastrophically. A storm floods every river in the west. His army literally cannot cross water. Everybody goes home, and Buckingham is dragged to a market square in Salisbury, where he never answers a single question. Dead men make terrible witnesses. Trust me, I've interviewed hundreds.
1485. New challenger. Henry Tudor comes back from exile, meets Richard at Bosworth. Richard dies fighting, and his crown ends up in a bush.
Neat.
The new king? Henry Tudor, a distant royal cousin, 14 years in exile, very good at math. From today, King Henry VII, and suspect number 3, because everything the missing boys had is now his.
His claim was, being generous, microscopic. So he staples the families together by marrying the boy's big sister. One small problem. To marry her, he has to make her legitimate again, which unlegitimizes her brothers, which means if either boy is alive anywhere on Earth,
They outrank me. Define alive.
So the new king repeals the illegitimacy law and orders every copy destroyed, unread. No inquest, no bodies shown. He never even announces the boys are dead,
It's honest
which is
work.
wild, because Richard did it. Here's proof would be the greatest PR win of his life, unless he couldn't prove it, unless he wasn't sure. Then it gets weird. Fake princes start showing up. Henry catches the first one and gives him a kitchen job. But the second, Perkin Warbeck, has the manners, the story, the face. Half of Europe backs him. The boy's own aunt backs him. And Henry, the cheapest king England ever produced, a man who audited his own Christmas, spends 8 years and a fortune hunting him down. You don't spend 8 years chasing a ghost, unless you're not sure it's a ghost. When the boys probably died, he was broke, in exile, across the sea. Very hard to smother somebody from another country. Motive, enormous. Opportunity, terrible. Behavior, so suspicious. Three suspects, 3 crowns, but only one night actually matters. Autumn, 1483. Nobody wrote it down. So walk it with me. One night, and we know this part is true, the tower's own men were sent away. New keys, new hands, just for one night. Tyrrell's night. 2 men go up. Miles Forrest, John Dayton. That's what the confession says. The boys are asleep.
Be strong. Trust your uncle.
At the stair foot, neatly deep, 10 feet down, under the stones, under the feet of everyone who'd climbed those stairs for the next 191 years. You already watched them find it. First scene of this file. Same staircase, same depth, right where the confession said they'd be 20 years before anyone dug. Keys, guards, timing, access, motive, a confession, pointing at a staircase. Nobody had opened yet. Every string I pull, the hype man had access, borrowed access. The winner had motive, and the world's best alibi. Which leaves the man who met a 12-year-old at a crossroads with an army and called it good morning. The man whose word put both boys behind those walls for safekeeping. The man whose crown arrived 10 weeks after his brother's funeral. His tower, his guards, his keys, his knight. His knight. It was the uncle. It was always the uncle.
Officially, still unsolved. The urn in Westminster Abbey has been opened exactly once, in 1933, and no one's allowed a DNA swab to this day. I'd need 5 minutes and 1 cotton bud. But you asked for my verdict. That's my verdict.
I made them safe.
You did. 10 feet under your own staircase. They were the safest boys in England. Yeah, that sounds about right. Some cases go cold because the trail died. This one went cold because every suspect wore a crown. And you can't subpoena a king. Another one for the cold pile. Subscribe and vote in the comments. Was it suspect 1, 2, or 3? I read every verdict, and I'll announce yours on the next case.
I made them safe.